Alrighty, Hosses, so that is actually all we need to do for this project. So the next thing I want you to do is go to File, New Project, and we're going to be making, like I said, an entirely different app for the broadcast listener or receiver. So I'm just going to name it, what was my last one? Send broadcast, receive broadcast. And that's good. That's good. Now another thing I want to do is I'm just going to choose add no activity. So again, this is just going to be a listener, so we don't really need a screen for it, and click finish. Alright, so we don't have an interface or any design, but of course we still need somewhere to write some code. So expand project and expand app, Java, and in this first top package right here, remember that's where we put all of our Java files. So right click it and choose new other broadcast receiver. Since that's all this is, it's a program that receives broadcasts. Simple enough. Now for the class name, I'm just going to name it receive broadcast, and make sure that both of these are checked by default and click finish. So what it does is it builds us pretty much a generic class to receive broadcasts. So eventually we're going to be listening for these broadcasts, and whenever one occurs and we actually accept it, what do we want to happen? Well, all I'm going to have happen is we're just going to print out a little message on the screen. It's kind of like a quick little notification or a pop-up. You may be familiar with them. You'll see whenever we do it. But in order to do that, we actually need to import android.widget toast. And this imports a piece of toast. So if you open up your CD drive in your computer right now, you're going to see a piece of toast in there. Alright, I'm just kidding. This is for the pop-up. Now, like I said, this onReceive method is going to be called whenever we receive that broadcast, that specific broadcast that we're listening for. So what do we want to happen whenever that message gets sent out and we listen for it and hear it? Well, all I'm going to do is make a little pop-up appear on the screen. So it's toast make text, which pretty much means make pop-up. And the parameters, 3 parameters we got to pass in. The first thing we have to do is pass through this context. The second one is the string that you want to appear pretty much for your pop-up. And I'll just write like broadcast has been received. Alright, now the third one, just write toast length long, and this is the duration of how long you want the pop-up to appear for. So it's either, you have 2 options, long and short, so we'll just make sure it appears on the screen for like, I don't know the duration of this, it's not long, it's only like 5 seconds maybe. So alright, this looks pretty good right here, and this is actually the only thing you have to do for whenever you create a receiver to receive broadcast messages. Now, of course, how does this know to listen for this specific broadcast? Because this was our original broadcast that we created, and remember I told you guys, there may be a bunch of different broadcasts going on in your phone, a bunch of different things sending them out. In order to identify each one, we gave it essentially a keyword. So this is the keyword that gets tied to this specific broadcast whenever the user clicks the button. So in your other project, we somehow need to say listen for broadcasts with this keyword. Now in order to do that, we actually go up to the manifest file and click Android manifest XML. Now of course, this is the manager. I say of course a lot. It's kind of annoying probably. So alright, so this is the receiver and where we can manage everything. Now what we need to do is we need to add something called an intent filter. This is pretty much going to say don't just listen for any broadcast. We need to filter out these broadcasts to only listen for specific ones. Now inside here is where you write which type of broadcast you want to listen for. So if you write action and Android name, then what you can do is you can paste your keyword in there. So now this program is only listening for broadcast intents with this keyword, aka the only one that we did. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. We set up our broadcast receiver, and whenever it receives a broadcast with this keyword, it's going to call on receive, aka make something pop up on the screen. So the first thing we have to do is we need to run this, and whenever we run this, check it out. I don't know if you guys can see, but one thing I want to make sure you guys do is click launch default activity. You see how this is default? Well, we don't want to launch this at all because this is just a listener. It doesn't have any screen associated with it or anything like that. So we're going to click do not launch activity and then click run. And what's going to happen is in our emulator, you're not going to have like before whenever you tested an app and an activity popped up and then you can click something. That's not going to happen because whenever you run this, all it does is it starts listening for that broadcast to occur. So now if we go to our other project, send broadcast, then we can run this project, and this is just for the other one. Alright, so now we got that listener. So again, go to your other project, the one that could send out a broadcast, and just run this bad boy too. Now whenever we click send broadcast, nothing happens because why are you not? Oh, it is because I am a moron and alright, I essentially made a toast, which is that pop-up, but I forgot to actually show it on the screen. So let's try this again. Alright, so hopefully whenever we click send broadcast, check it out. This is that little toast I was talking about. Broadcast has been received. So there you go. And take note of this. Remember, first of all, remember to include your show method. But check this out. The program to send a broadcast is this, and the program that prints out that little message is an entirely different system. It's this broadcast receiver, and this is that little message. So how sweet is that, that we're pretty much communicating between apps, between different programs within our phone?